Day 27, and one last chance for the leaders to sway some of those undecided voters. A major train derailment near Whistler and a major near miss for the environment. Can Canada do anything about a foreign ship accused of killing 3 stowaways?
The News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Live on Global, the News Hour's top story.
Shots fired at the Peace Arch as California fugitives make a run for the BC border. Minority Report, how long will the new Conservative government last? And new information on that deadly weekend plane crash on Vancouver Island.
And now, the News Hour with Tony Parsons. Live on Global, BCTV News top stories.
In her own words, a young girl who says she was abducted for the sex trade. The husband and wife in their 90s, hurt in a home invasion. And the U.S. on high alert on the eve of a terrible anniversary.
Now, the News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Live from BCTV, here are tonight's top stories.
BC smoking ban gets extinguished by the court. What now? With his family support payments twice his income, he ended it all. And the morning after pill soon sold over the counter in BC.
Right now, the News Hour with Tony Parsons.
More fires ravage Southern California, but this time they're only a small part of the disaster. And has the LA quake brought BC closer to the big one?
The News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Good evening. In 2 hours, they'll begin to count the ballots as Vancouver voters turn out in big numbers to decide who should run BC's largest city. More than 39,000 people beat it down to BC Place Stadium last night. It was a thriller of a show, but the Michael Jackson ticket scalpers got scalped. The performance was spectacular. The crowd was enthusiastically polite. But outside, the scalpers went as low as $10 for a $40 ticket.
The Weekend News Hour with Pamela Martin.
The News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Good evening. An axe-wielding East End resident was gunned down by Vancouver police today after menacing a number of pedestrians.
This is the News Hour for Wednesday, October 1st. Here is Tony Parsons.
Good evening. BC teachers heard the word on wages today. The word was no. On the island, the propane shortage in Nanaimo is causing still more problems. And in North Vancouver, an attempt to teach people about labor in BC is running into trouble.
They're off to New York for Game 5. But is it game last?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And pre-Commonwealth Games training in Victoria, an exercise in terrorism.
The new News Hour with Deborah Hope.
Good afternoon. Coming up, can you believe some doctors are recommending pregnant women take Prozac just before they give birth to help prevent postpartum depression?
The News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Good evening. Striking nurses in Alberta are punished by the courts. Also tonight, a skier lost on the mountains above Vancouver, and the dramatic rescue efforts to save him. And later, Men Behind Bars, a dramatic television documentary shown today at the Ocala Inquiry. Good afternoon. As Pierre Elliott Trudeau ends a year of mounting speculation by tendering a resignation that caught everybody by surprise. And in the northern interior, picket line violence erupts in the dispute between rival forest unions and logging contractors.
In Ottawa, it was the day after the blizzard. He said he'd walked in the snow at night and decided. In Mackenzie, an angry picket confrontation. The Special Edition News Hour with Tony Parsons.
Pierre Trudeau pulled one more surprise out of his almost legendary bag of tricks today and handed in his resignation. With the House of Commons in recess, his line that we had the wrong year still fresh on everyone's mind, and with the nation's capital still digging out from a blizzard, he sent the Liberal Party president a 3-paragraph note. It's been exciting, but it's time someone else took up the challenge. The word caught Ottawa by surprise.
In tonight's news, 200 construction jobs may be saved as the BC government prepares to step in. A voyage to outer space tonight. A faraway planet is for sale. And in sports, an historic first for the Redskins as they walk off with the Super Bowl.
News Hour Final, the weekend edition with Pamela Martin.
Good evening.
Good evening. In ways words can't describe, the news cameras capture the force of nature. We'll see the lava leap from the Hawaiian volcano, and the hills and highways of BC and Washington reel under winter rain and snow. From the BC interior, a family with a new life and lots of friends, and a government order to get out of the country this weekend. In Vancouver, another gun incident focuses police concern on the arsenal that is spreading throughout the city, posing a real threat to you. But before man's folly, nature's force.
The road to Squamish and Whistler is blocked by slides for the 5th time in 12 months.